Hello everyone and welcome to Dominion's very first Race for Wool. This event will go on for 5 weekends, starting with our seeding event today, where we find out which teams will go against each other in the upcoming weekends. This event was organised and run by the Dominion server but includes players from both of our sister servers, Vanilla and Nebula. Now, without much further ado, let's get this event started!
I'm not sure how I would compete today. I'd like to think I would be the kind of player that would rush ahead and try to find better gear early. But I also am not the most well-versed in Minecraft PvP. Oh, as you can see here, speaking of rushing ahead, we have a light blue creeper member, Pocket Pyro, who is deciding to rush the surface, and they have actually dived quickly past the pillager outpost and pillager wall, and they are making a break for it up along, and it looks like they may rush right the way up the mountain first at the very beginning of the game. Now, I wonder what their other teammates are doing. Let's see if we can find them. Oh, it looks like they are currently trying to set up kind of a home base. It looks like we have a furnace placed down. They're getting some basic resources smelted before they push ahead. It looks like the team's doing a split method, Scrog, where some of them are pushing ahead and some of them are kind of staying back.
It's not a bad idea to send out a messenger, just so you can plan out the rest of the course. I mean, it's interesting contrasting because I'm just watching over the Golden Guardians who seem to be chopping down the trees and gearing themselves up properly before heading forward at all.
Interesting. It looks like the Crimson Illusionists have discovered the pre-made TNT cannon that we left for them on this lane, just to give a hint as to how they can attack their opposing team. However, they look like they may have fired it, and it perhaps did not trigger correctly, as I still see their opposing team's cannon is standing fine. I actually see 36 here now at the cannon. Now, having known 36 personally, he is a faction server veteran, which means, oh, and he's firing the cannon right now, which means he is very well versed in knowing how TNT cannons work. And as you can see, he executes it flawlessly, though doesn't quite get the range that he was looking for. But now that we have TNT in the hands of many of our teammates, we may start to see some TNT cannons between lanes begin to happen, and some teams may opt to use that TNT instead to either fight enemies or work their way through. Instead of mining by hand, they can use TNT to blow their way into certain areas.
And interestingly, Cloudfuel has decided to, instead of wearing a helmet, to wear your head from the Scarecrow.
Oh, excellent. Representing me.
He's falling.
And
what a
he
save.
does clutch. However, the rules are, if you fall into the lane, sadly, you do have to fall all the way out. I just got word that it looks like Bob the Snob and their team are successfully towards the top of the tower. Bob.
Yeah, when I was last seeing Bob, he was heading up Ice Peak Point and being chased by quite a lot of things, but managing to evade the danger.
Yeah, it looks like Bob there was attempting to sequence break over the barrier, but we have prevented that from happening.
Yep, he's right at the other end of the map. And Smab seems to be with him as well.
Excellent.
It's, you like when an underdog team seems to be taking some good steps. I mean, if there were to be a two-player team, they are two very capable players who I can see making this work in their favor.
Exactly. And it looks like, having noticed here, previously the Green Nitwits only had 2 players, but it looks like their third player, King Jawa, was able to join in the nick of time and is now competing with their team. So unfortunately, it does appear that the Salmon Sheep are the only team of 2, but like you said, Scrog, if there was ever to be a team of 2, then those 2 definitely have the capability to pull this off. They're just going to have to really work hard.
Yes, I received a message from Jawa just as the game was starting. He seemed to have overslept, so he's going to be approaching today just from waking up. So I'm hoping for him that he can wake up quickly.
Ooh, looks like we did just have a bunch of players taken out by some pillagers. We had Derpy Panda, Raven Platypi, and True Mikey Q, all from 3 different teams. Oh, and now Electro Yellow. 4 different teams, 5 different teams, all falling to the pillagers, all at the same time. And so it's proving that those pillagers are a definite threat that needs to be taken care of before the teams can proceed. Does look
Yeah,
like
I mean,
a lot of
looking at-
spawners have been taken out already.
Looking at the salmon sheep, they've taken out a lot of the spawners from their wall, whereas a lot of the team's just trying to go over it and ignore it.
Is now spawning on the surface. Oh! And it looks like Pixelated 66 did just get hit by something. Someone has a spectral arrow, I believe they're called, the kind that highlight people. Oh, and they are about to get peppered by 4 different pillagers with crossbows too. And they decided to retreat a little bit. It looks like their teammates are coming up in the rear to help out a little bit. Oh,
Yeah,
one
we
of them
have
does go down.
we have Raven Platypi as well, who was doing a good job of just tanking his way through what must have been 10 pillagers, but just as he was getting away was shot in the back.
Ooh.
But they seem to have taken the spawners out and cleared the area, and they're moving forward as a unit. They found the secret spawners below the post in the tower.
Aha. Now, Squirrel, one thing I'm noticing as I fly around, and we haven't really talked about it yet, what are all these weird target blocks that are just kind of sticking in the side of the walls?
I don't actually know.
That's okay, I can explain. So, those target blocks are places where opposing teammates from their lane can shoot, and various things will happen. Sometimes an explosion will happen, and so, for example, if someone is battling some pillagers on one side, they can have an opposing enemy shoot the target block at the opportune moment and cause them a lot of hurt and a lot of headache. Actually, I just noticed this might be the first team. We have Pocket Pyro on the LBC team who is descending for the first time into the lava chasm. And as they go down, they are encountering the various dripstone hazards around, and they are mining their spawners as they go. Let's see if they can take out... Oh, they didn't even notice a spawner behind them, and they are ignoring it. Is a wither
That's a bad move.
spawner.
I mean, this room is sort of a forbidden hot tub, and if you're not careful, you can be taken out quite easily.
The forbidden hot tub, I love it. We have some more of the light blue creepers making it down into the lava chasm, but fighting against the wither skeletons, which arguably is the biggest threat down here. Those suckers will wither you away even if they hit you once. For example, perfect timing. Leche Sim did just get hit once by a wither skeleton, buried themselves in the wall, but that lingering withering effect took away their remaining hearts, so sadly they did die and will have to reset. Does look like we have a firefight here between the Green Nitwits King Jawa and the Blueberry Bear Sierra Keegan, who are both opting to try to pick each other off. It actually looks like Sierra Keegan is aiming up for one of those traps we mentioned earlier. Hopefully we can see them hit it. We do. It might not be a strong enough signal, though. It's... Oh, and we do see that explosion.
Oh! Interestingly, there's a trap much closer. Oh, we seem to have hit that one already.
Yeah, so some of them drop things from the ceiling, as you can see here.
Oh! Zhao has been sniped out. Oh, and interestingly, there seems to be a pillager which has spawned on the side of the map on a dirt block, which Cloud placed when trying to save himself from falling. We have Bobbin, the Guardian Abyss right now as well, which is the first player I've seen down here, and is making use of doors to keep able to breathe underwater.
Ooh, that is just the kind of play that I would expect from someone as experienced as Bob. Using the doors for oxygen is a great move there.
Yeah, and he's hiding in little caves where he can bring the mobs to him so he can pick them off whilst exposing himself to minimal danger. Oh, and we've got Prez, who's building a path of Boodle so she can get down safely.
And it does look like this is the first time we've seen a full team push ahead down into where they need to go next. Does look like they're being chased by a rogue pillager, though. Hopefully that doesn't cause them any issues. It looks like Sarah Boodle took care of that quickly. So they are descending now into the lava chasm below.
It seems that Boodle seems to be holding at the back of the team as well, letting the danger be cleared, whilst we have the other two pushing forward.
Exactly. Now, as they are proceeding, you might notice that we have a lot of bedrock in the walls here. And that is to prevent some sequence breaking. So sequence breaking is being able to do a part of the map first when they really shouldn't be able to. For example, we have blocks in place here so that players can not just look at where the wool is and mine directly to it and grab it. Instead, they have to run the gauntlet. And so that means descending down through this cave here, into the dripstone cavern, down into the lava cave, make it successfully over all of these lava enemies that will spawn. There's magma cubes, skeletons, baby zombies, the works down here, and then climb up into this wool chamber. But you may notice there is a very solid piece of obsidian. And so the players are absolutely incentivized to spend some time in this lava area collecting these diamond ores here to make diamond pickaxes. Otherwise, they will have a very, very slow chance of getting through. Oh, and we do see the Crimson Illusionist taking that opportunity to shoot across over at the Limes here, who were trying to make that progress. Now, Just Prez is delicately standing on the cobblestone there. If they had got hit back, they would have fallen. Oh, and they do get taken out and sniped. Saraboodle is fighting back, but the other team do have the high ground, and that is a very beneficial... and Saraboodle does get taken out, unfortunately. Now we have 36, who is delicately fighting a whole... Oh, and they get taken out too! The Crimson Illusioners completely wipe out the Limes, making them reset from the beginning. Does this now give the Crimson Illusioners enough time to push through the lava before the Limes can reset and get back at it?
Interestingly, Bob and Smab seem to have split up quite a bit and seems to be tackling on different sections. We currently have Smab in the underwater section, whilst... Where is Bob? Oh no, Bob's just been killed by Leche. So we seem to have their team sticking together as a pack whilst Bob was exploring off on his own and just was taken out without much defense.
I did just notice that we do have a rematch between King Jawa and Sierra Keegan. They are both... Oh, and it does look like Sierra has backup now, as another member of their team, Cloud Fuel, is fighting back. So now we have Cloud Fuel and Sierra Keegan both firing at King Jawa, but King Jawa does have the high ground, and it is much harder to shoot upwards with a bow and arrow in this game than to shoot downwards at an enemy. You get a lot of more velocity and a lot more distance.
Yes, and interestingly, Cloud's made the choice to retreat to the other side into where there's safety instead of continuing to engage in the fight.
I believe Cloud may be taking a shortcut strategy where they're creating a method to get back to this spot quickly. So let's see if that pans out for them. They are going to hit the bedrock right now, but maybe they will be able to find a way to navigate up and around that. And it does look like they are, in fact, doing that. And back here at the Green Nitwits, we have Prince Habibis, who is just fishing, seemingly. Having a good time. Looks like they planted some crops, and they're just collecting some fish. Either they're chilling, or they're trying to supply their teammates with some better food to survive. Now here's the team we haven't looked at too much, the Golden Guardians, and it looks like we do have... Locke has made it to the boss room. This void boss room here, in case you weren't aware. When the players place their wool all the way back at their monuments for the first time, this is the chamber that they need to come to defeat a boss. And that will allow them to proceed to the exit, which will allow them to finally reach this final platform here. And that is where the timer will count them as having finished their lane. Now it does appear...
we have our first diamonds of the game, I believe.
Oh, we do? Who is that?
It's Ice MC.
Incredible. Yeah, it does look
just
like...
Just chilling below the lava.
Yeah. Which is a risky spot, if I had to say. Oh, and it does look like they were stepping out. I will quickly delete this block, as it is illegal. I did get word that Just Prez has also entered the boss chamber. Now, there's not necessarily a incentive to make it here this early. One technique I've taken note of here, Scrog, is that some members have used shears to collect the cobwebs from the spider cave in the beginning, and are now using that to quickly descend into parts of the caves. So instead of building ladders or making staircases out of blocks, some players are opting for the risky strat of just immediately dropping down.
It is definitely a feat of sheer strength to take that gamble and hope it pays off. But when you're competing with time, sometimes you need to make risky plays.
Exactly. Oof, and it does look like our friends, the Crimson Illusioners, are getting absolutely surrounded by skeletons and zombies right now as they drop onto them from above. Hopefully they have enough gear at this point to be able to survive. It looks like they're playing very cautiously, using a hidey hole and kind of poking their way out here and there to get back at those enemies. Ideally, they could get somebody to go up there and destroy that spawner. Oh, and it looks like they did. Right as I said that, we had one player from their team poke their head out of another hidey hole and quickly take care of that spawner. So once they take care of these mobs that are remaining, they should be pretty safe. Oh,
that's just to clear it out.
It looks like our Limes have actually been the first team to reach the wool chamber. And there we have it. 36 is the first player out of this match to collect a piece of wool. And also, as you can see, once they've done so, they begin to glow. And so what that means is that the opposing team on their other lane can now see exactly where those wool carriers are, and they can opt to track them and attack them if they can. Oh, it does look like the Golden Guardians have also collected their piece of wool.
Did we? No, I don't think we did. There seems to be a fox which has spawned inside one of the glowing bounty caves.
Perfect. Oh, I do see him taking a little nap here inside the berry bush. What a little cutie. The magenta magma cubes have spawned the Void Disciple. That is the boss. So it does look like the Oh, and the Limes also spawned. Oh, yeah, there they... I don't know if that is intentional. And it looks like somehow the Limes are able to summon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different bosses, which is absolutely not intentional.
Is there a benefit to spawning the mini boss multiple times?
Absolutely not. There is only a negative. Now, you may think, oh, some teams have already spawned the Void Disciple. We have no chance of catching up, or the other teams have no chance. That's not necessarily true, because there's still a lot to go. They have to defeat this Void Disciple, re-enter this final gauntlet, enter their final corridor here with lots of enemies that will be spawning before they can then exit and get their time secured. So there's still a lot to go. Oh, not quite. Let's see if they can figure it out. They do need to place that block on the very top of their monument.
And it seems like...
And the Golden Guardians have successfully spawned their Void Disciple. And so they can now proceed to attempting to fight that to continue their attempt here. Oh, and it looks like the... Oh! It looks like the Limes were going to take an attempt at taking out their multiple bosses that they spawned. They used TNT to attempt with that. It did succeed in killing some of them. And we do see the totem on the ground, which is the item that they need to collect. But they all also killed themselves with either the Vexes or with excess TNT damage. So let's see if they're able to make it back and notice the item on the ground or not. They may not. We'll see. Now we do have somebody from the Golden Guardians pushing forward. I believe Flock does actually have the totem in their inventory, and they are pushing forward right now. They are reaching for the chest, the barrel. They are placing it inside, and the Golden Guardians do take first place as their team exits out the lane. Incredible work.
What a great victory. What's our time, Sam?
Looks like they finished it with 1 hour and 18 minutes left on the clock. The Blueberry Bears have spawned their Void Disciple too and will be proceeding to fight it. I also noticed that the Crimson Illusionists have collected their wool too, and it looks like they've actually made a lot of rat tunnels that they are able to secretly move around inside of their lane without actually being exposed to the enemy team. And so that might be a great opportunity for them to be able to hide away while they return this wool. Now, one thing I will notice is that while they both have a piece of wool, they are actually going the wrong way. There is no way to make it all the way back to their spawn point and their spawn monument by going down into the cave here. And I don't know if they have realized that yet. Oh, having said that, I'm completely out of my mind because it looks like your Crimson Illusionists actually already have the Void Disciple spawned. And so it may be that they're just holding on to additional wool for the sake of it.
No,
what on earth is going on here? We have...
What the f*** is happening here?
We have a very interesting strategy in which a player has poured lava over their own lane. And now, I'm not sure if this is somebody who has emotionally given up, or whether it's somebody who's attempting to sabotage their own team. It is unclear. But it does look absolutely devastating to their lane here.
Yes, I think they chose a fitting team name.
It does look like our salmon sheep are proceeding to a point where they are going to be able to collect the wool. Looks like we have Bob the Snob, who is delicately under the ground here, who I believe only has an iron pick, but has chosen to just force their way through the obsidian here. I'm not sure quite how long it takes to mine obsidian with an iron pick, but it is considerably long with a diamond pick. Looks like one member of the Crimson Illusionists, Mikey, is making their way up towards the Void Disciple. And once again, this team has opted to 1-2. So they are doing the TNT method, it appears. It's risky because, yes, it will do a lot of damage. It will also hurt you. And it may, in this case, just like that, launch the Disciple off the map. Incredible. Now, Scrog, I do believe that the Limes, I can't confirm it. I did not see it happen, but I do believe the Limes have one of the totems in their inventories at this time. And so they are now pushing forward. Again, Just Prez using TNT to stack up because they did not have other blocks. Now they are entering the final gauntlet here, so they may be the team that is closest to placing second so far out of everyone I've seen.
Oh, we seem to have the magenta magma cubes in the deep dark room currently, which I'm not sure why we're there at this point, I guess. I'm not sure if they've gotten their totem yet.
And we do see some blueberry bears in the boss chamber. Oh, and we quickly have the Limes having finished their lane. Incredible work. I'm so sorry I missed that on camera. I did not think they were that close. Great work, Limes. You do take second place. Means you are now seed 2, and you will be going against the team that places 7th.
No, but we also do have the magenta magma cubes following closely behind as well, just making their way up the final tower.
We do have one member of that team, Pixelated 666, who is fighting their way through this final gauntlet. We did see Pixelated die, though, however, so it looks like the magenta magma cubes are back to the beginning, but they do have a totem, I believe, and they can push forward. Go check on the light blue creepers here. It does look like they are pushing their way up. In fact, they look like they have a player in the boss arena. It's unclear whether they have defeated the boss or not, but they may have already done that and are proceeding upwards into the final gauntlet.
At this point, I feel like the green nitwits have conceded. They seem to just be not really attempting the map anymore and just playing Minecraft.
Yeah. And I wonder if that was a group decision, Scrog, or whether that was one player's decision. We will have to maybe interview them at the end here to see quite what was going on in their minds during this game. We do have the light blue creepers who are up in that final chamber. But it looks like they're not proceeding, which makes me believe that they, at least Leche, does not have the totem required to continue. So we will have to see if another teammate of theirs does and is making their way up. It does look like we have 2 of them here. So hopefully one of them does actually have that. We do have the team of 2, the salmon sheep, having collected the wool. See if they're able to make that back to summon the Void Disciple. Now, just as a reminder for those watching at home, not every week is going to be like this. This is a very special... Oh, sorry, some combat here. This is a very special week in that all 8 teams are competing at the same time. But for every week after this week, it will be 1 team versus 1 team on 2 lanes, just like how you're seeing now. And so it'll be much easier for us to show at literally everything that's happening between both teams. But as of right now, we kind of have to dance around and rush to all 8 teams.
Oh, I think the Blueberry Bears might just be approaching the last finish.
Oh, do you believe that they have the totem required? See if they have it.
I think they do. If they have it, they're done. Oh no, they seem to be wondering what they've missed, so perhaps not.
Does look like they're panicking a little bit, trying to figure out what it is that they need to do. They did attempt to place TNT in the middle, but sadly that is not the test of strength we are looking for. We are in fact specifically looking for the the Void Disciples Totem of Undying that they drop.
The Blueberry Bears are through the finish line in our 3rd place.
Oh, I'm so sorry I missed that, everybody. I thought that they did not even have it ready, but it looks like they all successfully made their way through, and they are seemingly mocking the light blue creepers. It is a travesty. And the light blue creepers seemingly do not have a totem of their own. Did they ever spawn their Void Disciple? It is unclear. They do have all 3 teammates up here and no one is placing it, and so perhaps they do not have what they need.
Oh, and Bob has gone to put the wall also into the final room. So we seem to have 3 teams in a similar place of not realizing there's a boss fight hidden somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Now, what you guys at home don't know is before the event started, we did give every team a hint as to what they have to do, and part of that hint was that they were told they have to return to their monument with their piece of wool. And it appears that some teams have chosen to not remember that.
Oh, so the Library Creepers have just spawned the Void Disciple, so they seem to have worked out what's really going on here. Oh, and they seem to have converted the lava into all cobblestone. Perhaps this was a strategy from the Green Nitwits, but I'm not entirely sure where their head's at this point.
I'm not convinced it was a strategy at all. I believe that they have completely given up and are just deciding to proceed with just being a little bit crazy over here. But that's okay. If they choose not to continue competing, they will just place last, and that's fine. They will still get to compete next week. Oh, excellent. It does look like we have the magenta magma cubes being able to kill their Void Disciple by using ranged methods. They now have the totem. I watched them pick it up. Let's see if they can make it all the way back up through that gauntlet. It does look like the magenta magma cubes, making it there early, they were able to clear out all of the spawners. So in theory, they just need to climb up through these bushes, up these ladders, through the final corridor, place the test of strength in this barrel, and they should place 4th place. Let's see if that happens. And it does. We do see the magenta magma cubes do place 4th. Congratulations. We now have half of our teams having completed the race, and about half of our time is gone. And so it looks like the other team should be following suit shortly. Oh, that's the first trident I've actually seen in this game, so they may be one of the few teams that was actually able to find them. And it is a very convenient weapon. I do believe it will return to the player. It has the enchantment that returns. Now they look like they are punching this Void Disciple. It is lower than half health. Can they take it out before the Vexes take them out? It looks like Pocket Pyro is panicking. Oh, and Pocket Pyro does get taken out. Now, luckily, this Void Disciple does not recover health, so eventually, over time, if they keep at it, they will be able to kill it. The issue is it will...
And we have Classify coming in to finish him off, hopefully.
Oh, perfect. Does look like that's the case. They have an iron armor, they have an iron sword. Now, the one thing is, the longer they take, potentially the more Vexes will spawn around that Void Disciple, so they can't take too long. It does look like you're correct, Scrog. Your prediction of Raven Platypi rushing forward to try and take out the Void Disciple is there. They are getting several hits on him. Can they do enough damage to kill it? All they need to do is get the...
And he's down! Oh, the totem's here!
And the totem is still on the ground! What a devastating attempt. That is heartbreaking. But the good news is it's dead now, so they just need to make it back here. They need to pick that up, take it up to the top, and they'll be done.
Seems to be a good bit of tag teaming going on there.
I wonder if they can see where it is, though, because they did not make the kill.
Oh, no!
They are not actually sure where the totem will be. Oh, and it does look like they spotted it.
Oh, they find it.
Excellent. And here they go. They are entering that final gauntlet, but it's less of a gauntlet now and more just a climb, because I believe some of their teammates have already been up here and they have already successfully cleared out all the spawners. It should be a breezy path all the way up. They are now entering the final chamber, and let's see, will they be team 5 to complete it? And the light blue creepers will be team 5 to complete. Congratulations. We have the Crimson Illusionists here who are pushing towards that final tower climb. However, it's unclear. Oh, and they're getting absolutely annihilated by creepers and witches there. It is another example of why it's really useful to have all of your team ready to make that final push.
And the Green Network seems to be garnering a fair bit of support and attention from the other team for their unconventional ways of playing today.
They do look like they're a pretty happy team, regardless of whether they are going to place last today. They look like they had a good time, and that's really all that matters.
And Bob seems to have gotten the wool and seems to be heading back towards the mini boss room.
Yes, it does appear the flowing water did come in clutch here, and it is helping Bob to quickly get right back up. And they are now running across the surface, hopefully to place that block down.
Oh, but Stone Noob seems to be climbing up the last tower.
They're kind of just waiting at the bottom. It looks like they were able to successfully clear out all of those devastating spawners down there. If you don't remember, down here there were witches spawners, creeper spawners. This is the final gauntlet, and so in the design of this, the game makers did want to make sure it was difficult to pass through here. And we have seen many deaths in this area from many teams, but it does look like they were successfully able to clear it. And so let's see if they have the totem ready to place in as their test of strength and push through this final door. It does look like our Crimson Illusionists are facing some confusion. They made it all the way up into that final chamber, but none of them appear to have the totem. Or they do, and they did not place it. It appears that Mikey maybe has figured something out. That looked like an intentional death to me. Oh, and the Salmon Sheep have spawned their Void Disciple, finally, and so hopefully they will be able to figure out that that is their next step in order to proceed. Now, if you remember, the Crimson Illusionists were the team that attempted to destroy the boss with lots of TNT, which is why their boss chamber no longer exists. They did come in here and place about 10 pieces of TNT and quickly blow it up, and it sadly did not even kill the boss and destroyed the area. So they may have a difficult time. However, they do look like they are pushing their way back up. And so I wonder if one of them does actually have the totem. And they do. And they are able to push through, and they do become the 6th team to complete today's challenge. Congratulations, Crimson Illusioners.
Oh, and Bob seems to be TNT spamming the Illusioner.
An interesting strategy. Let's see if it pays off. Oh, yeah, I do have him pinned in. Again, though, and they may not know that. Oh, I was about to say that this Illusioner has a lot of health, but looking at it now, it only has 15 hearts left, and this TNT will definitely kill it. Now, I'm not familiar with game mechanics, Grog. Maybe you know the answer to this. Are Totems of Undying immune to TNT?
They are not immune to TNT. However, I believe it would drop from the explosion, so it shouldn't be blown up because it will drop because of the TNT.
Item.
Snap seems to be charging in head first.
Oh,
and Bob hits the TNT and walks out.
And he is dead.
And the Nitwit seem to be trying to get to the Nether.
Interestingly, that was not something we tested. So let's see if they're actually able to pull that off.
I think we've disabled it. Oh.
And they were able to successfully enter the Nether. Congratulations. Oh, they successfully were able to leap down into this chasm with the water that they placed like 20 minutes ago, so that has been extremely beneficial to them. They're going to be making their way... Actually, they're going the wrong way. Or at least Bob the Snob is going the wrong way. Because as a reminder, they need to go up through this mine shaft here to reach the Void Disciple up there. Looks like Smab has let Bob know that they are in fact going the wrong way, and they are turning around. I am actually getting word from our game masters right now to be corrected. It does appear that the green Nitwits did choose to forfeit first, and so the Nitwits will actually take last place, and the Salmon Sheep will take 7th place. And that does bring our event, our first tournament, to a close. What an incredible show of skill and determination. Some of our players died so many times and yet kept coming back and back and back. We saw some incredible teamwork from teams here who have never teamed together before. Some of these players barely knew each other before today and still chose to step into this and compete just like any other team, where some of these teams have known each other for years.
With all that said, we want to thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Oh, and don't forget, you can watch a VOD for this entire video right there.